The Hall of Fame game has kicked off. That means the NFL season is officially here. That means it's time for cold brews and hot takes to kick off. That's right. This is Josh Kimmel. We're going to be setting you up every single week, every Monday at 9 a.m., giving you all the recap of the action that happened from that weekend. So let's get it started, guys. Let's go.
You're watching Cold Brews and Hot Takes, only on Fantasy Now Plus.
Welcome to the inaugural Cold Brews and Hot Takes. That's right, this is me, Josh Kimmel, by myself. So if you love me, this is the show for you here every Monday morning, 9 a.m. We'll be breaking down everything that goes on the weekend. But, it's just one game so far, the Hall of Fame game. It was a game. I know people were really excited for the game to kick off, but once toe hit leather and we got the game going, people lost interest because it is preseason game. It's the Hall of Fame game. It's the most overblown game there is because we've been starving for football for so long. It's like going to the store, right, on an empty stomach. You go to Publix. I do it every single weekend. I go to the store. I'm hungry. I grab the Cheez-Its, right? Grab the Twizzlers. I'm so hungry. I could eat all these snacks. I could eat all of them. I want all of them. Give me the toaster strudels, right? Everyone likes the toaster strudel. Strawberry, please. Don't give me that apple. Nobody wants the apple. Apple's terrible. Cinnamon? The cinnamon one's a cop-out because you just get a donut at that point, right? Get a donut. Cinnamon, toast, either way. I'm going on too long. But it tastes so good when you're hungry. That's preseason. That's a Hall of Fame game. You're starving for something. It doesn't matter. But when you get home with all these snacks, you got the Twizzlers, you got your Ho-Hos or your Twinkies or your Doritos, your Cooler Ranch, right? If you're a psychopath, you get the nacho cheese. Maybe you like just tortilla chips and queso. Either way, you get home and there's nothing there. It's just snacks. It's just empty calories. It's just preservative. It's nothing. Where's your steak? Where's your potatoes? You forgot about that stuff because you were so hungry now. You wanted the food now. You wanted your football here now. Now it's here. And there's really not much going on with it. But we wait. Right now we wait for 3 more weeks. We're here. We get the anticipation. It's nice, right? Kickoff starts in literally 29 days, I feel like. This is going to be huge, man. So the biggest takeaways from the weekend will be coming up. I do have some thoughts on Trey Lance, Keandre Lambert-Smith, and some others that stood out during this preseason game. But first, I got to let you guys know where to find us. FantasyNowPlus.com, where you can find our rankings, waivers, articles, and much, much more. FantasyNowPlus.com, also on Blue Sky at FantasyNowPlus. Follow us at FinsTalkSportsNetwork.com too, because we're over there. Yes, they have a website. I believe if they haven't released yet, I apologize. But Fins Talk Sports Network on the YouTube as well. If you're watching over there, go and click over Fantasy Now Plus. We're almost at 650 subscribers. We wanted to hit 1,000 before the season started. Not sure if we're going to do that now, but we can push it, guys. We got 3 more weeks. That's only about 350 subs for 3 weeks. We could do that, right? Over about 1.15. It doesn't matter. Justin I'm not in your house. I stole your background. Cat's out of the bag. First time going live. I was logged out of my Gmail. I was logged out of my StreamYard account. I was logged out of everything. I was logged out of my everything. So I have nothing of mine. I am in Justin's studio. But I would love to go north when it's cold one day. I would love to go north one day. So with that being said, make sure you follow us on our socials. FantasyNowPlus.com is where you can get all of our rankings, waivers, articles, and more. All right, so here are the key implications I feel like from the Hall of Fame game. And it's going to be quick, guys, because it's just one game. It's just one game. It's just one meaningless game. This is a game where we were told Josh Jacobs started, and he was going to be irrelevant and done. Well, Josh Jacobs is still playing football, and he was good. At this time last year, I believe we were hearing that Kyron Williams was going to be a punt returner. We all freaked out. Now we're hearing that Travis Hunter is going to be playing mainly, the defensive side, or at least 50-50 split. Now we're all freaking out. Everything that's said on August, especially August 4th, can be taken with a grain of salt. So everything I say here, I'm just going to go ahead and ignore Justin. Everything I say here, please take it with a grain of salt because much can change from now to September. Trey Lance, Everyone wants to talk about Trey Lance. Great performance as a backup. It does look like he is going to be the backup there in Los Angeles, which is great for him. He had a good performance. It does look like he can still play football, and he's a competent backup quarterback that we could rely on for fantasy. I'm not going to go into in depth on it. It is what it is. He's not going to be being drafted in your leagues, nor shall he. In dynasty drafts, he should still be on the free agency list unless you play Superflex and you maybe roster Justin Herbert and you have room for him. Other than that, this is a non-story. Keandre Lambert-Smith could be something here. He showed chemistry with Trey Lance. He had a touchdown. Of course, the camp buzz continues. Late round receivers do pop off once in a while. So he's the only person I would be keen from this game that goes, wow, okay, I got some news. I found something new. I learned something new. So Keandre Lambert-Smith, of course, over there. I would go ahead and target him in your dynasty if you've not picked him up yet. Most likely he's already picked up. Taxi squad somewhere. Can't find him. Good to go. But it's always worth a shot to go look. People were talking about Kimani Vidal. He had some touchdowns, right? Guys, Najee, Hampton, those are your guys. This is a good story for preseason. You know, everyone's fighting for a roster spot. Again, I'm not going to look too much into this at all. If he gets short, he's going to be the guy who gets the short yard touchdown where we're like, oh, couldn't be Najee. Couldn't be Vidal. All right, it was Vidal. That's what we're going to say. It was Vidal, this guy. That's what it's going to be. We're going to be very upset when he scores touchdowns. Lambert was very quick. Yes, I'm really looking forward to him, but I'm not going to go too deep into one game, especially the Hall of Fame game. I want to see more, but it was exciting to see that. Detroit's quarterback spot, the backup spot, Kyle Allen, Hendon Hooker were battling for that. This is important for me as well because if Jared Goff goes down, I feel like, and you can say this with almost any franchise in the NFL, but if Jared Goff goes down, I think they're in big trouble. I think that they are in massive trouble. And again, you could say that for almost anybody. So it's very important to see who the backup quarterback is going to be, Kyle Allen or Hendon Hooker. They were both, through interceptions, they both struggled. So that's something to look for in the future. So that's going to wrap it up for the Hall of Fame game for me. Again, what are we doing? The over-analyzing of one single preseason game, to me, where nothing ever comes from it, is a waste of all of our times. So I'm not going to do that. We're going to go ahead and move forward into what I think is going to be the most interesting subject in the preseason, something I'm looking forward to very much, something I've been pounding this table for since I think we started. Matter of fact, in one of our staff leagues, I drafted this man, Daniel Jones. That's right. We're going to get into Daniel Jones real quick. Nothing crazy, nothing too much, but they have stated, the Colts that is, that both quarterbacks will be starting in the preseason. This is kind of what I expected from day one. Even without the Anthony Richardson injuries, I did think that Daniel Jones would get a shot because Richardson didn't look so good in his first two seasons. I know that we have the boss man of this show, Justin Byerly. He's not going to like this. I know he's watching. But Richardson did not prove himself to be a real NFL quarterback, especially a winning quarterback in fantasy football. But he does have some upside. And if he wins the job, that's going to be good for some of these receivers out there because we saw last year he can throw a 75-yard dart down the field and Pierce can catch it for a touchdown, and we're all happy. We're great. Richardson could be sitting with 1.1 fantasy points. Boom, throw this 75. Boom, we're good. We're chill. All right, cool. He did his job. But we needed that last year for him to be relevant. So I definitely think Daniel Jones should get a clean shot here. And I think that the fantasy community is coming around to this. And, man, it really feels good to be on day one, ground one of this revolution because I've been banging the table for Daniel Jones since day one, and he deserves – not since the New York Times, not since those days. I didn't believe in his head coach. I don't think his head coach should even be in the NFL at this – or his former head coach should be in the NFL at this point, which is well documented on this channel. So if you want to go back for that, I'm not going to get red-faced, scream about how Brian Daboll is the biggest con artist in the NFL. I'm not going to do that today. I've done that in the past many, many times. But Daniel Jones is a safe floor play. He can get you – he's won a playoff game. Like, I was listening to Fox Sports Radio over the weekend, driving around playing Pokemon Go, right? Gigantamax Butterfree Day, no big deal. Caught 10 of them, no shinies, no big deal. It's all right. I'm not mad about it. It is what it is, right? Can't always get the shinies. And they were saying, like, oh, everyone has a top 5 list, right? Mahomes, this guy, that guy, right? Josh Allen. But who are the guys on the outside trying to get their way in? And they were talking about Justin Herbert and mainly Justin Herbert, about how he's not proven himself and he's never won a playoff game. But yet he puts up these good numbers and he throws a great touchdown to interception ratio. He does everything you need, but he didn't win a playoff game. So therefore, he can't be a top 15 quarterback per the experts over there on Fox Sports. Daniel Jones won a playoff game. So if we're really gauging playoff games on is this guy a good quarterback or not, then we pick and choose here in the media. We pick and choose who we build up and who we push down. And Daniel Jones has been proven, actually he's been pushed up lately, but he was being pushed down for the longest time. He's careful with the football. He can get the ball down the field to Michael Pittman, Tyler Warren. I think he is a safer play for the Indianapolis Colts. But I don't know if he's going to be the safer play for fantasy football. What that means is when you start at Daniel Jones, you have a baseline of, I guess, a ceiling. There's no baseline because if he can get negative points, there's a ceiling for Daniel Jones. And that ceiling is limited to what? Maybe 15 points, 14 points. Okay, that's fine. What's he going to score you normally? What, 11, 12 points on an average week, you would say? That's fine. Anthony Richardson, for fantasy purposes, his ceiling is through the roof. He can easily score you 25, 30-point games, but he can easily also score you negative points, just like Daniel Jones could. So they have the same floor. It's just one ceiling is much higher and one ceiling is very limited. So in the world of fantasy, if you have to start these players, and if you do, I apologize. You've done something way wrong. You've not listened to Fantasy Now Plus. You've listened to other publications, and I apologize for that. Thank you for coming back here. If you start either of these quarterbacks, you want that big boom potential, where Richardson gives you that, where Daniel Jones just does not give you that. At least we haven't seen it yet. So that's my assessment on this whole situation. Daniel Jones will be better fit for the NFL team, for the NFL franchise, for them winning football games in a very weak division with Tennessee, right, with Houston, right, Jacksonville, very, very weak, very, very winnable division. Whereas my fantasy teams, I'd rather have the high upside guy, and I could live with the, oh, you put up a crappy week, yeah, well, Daniel Jones could have done that too. So that's my situation over there. I cannot wait to see how that pans out moving forward in the preseason. And the last thing we're going to talk about today, guys, something I'm looking forward to, something that has not happened yet, but I want to see the usage of DeAndre Swift and Roschon Johnson in Chicago. That's the biggest, besides the whole quarterback situation in Indianapolis, this to me is going to affect fantasy football the most, as in we don't know what they're going to do. We have assumptions on how they're going to use Swift and Roschon. We see the blueprint of Sonic and Knuckles, a.k.a. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. We saw the blueprint, but just because you have a blueprint of something doesn't mean you could take that same blueprint with totally different tools, totally different pieces, and go, okay, Swift, you're going to be Gibbs. Roschon, you're going to be Montgomery. That's just not how it works. That's not how life works. That's not how things work. I can't just say, hey, the best Fortnite play in the world, right? I'm going to teach you this, and you're going to do this. All right, now you're in. Now just do what I told you to do. You got the blueprint. No, you have to have the skill. You have to have the timing. You have to have the chemistry. You have to have everything go in one piece. And I don't know if they have that yet because they haven't played a football game together. Ben Johnson has not been a head coach for the Bears yet in a real football scenario on a real football field with real football being played. So we don't know what's going to be. We think it's going to be Swift. We think Swift's going to be the guy. We think he's going to be the Gibbs. We think Roschon's going to be the Monty. But then there's the rookie. People are talking about this guy, and I cannot pronounce his name, so don't crush me. Kyle Monangai. Did I do it? Did I do it well, guys? Thumbs up in the chat if I said yes to that, if I did a good job. But Kyle Monangai, he is showing up. He is being talked about. He is being talked about on third down packages, potential mismatches, checkdowns, catches. That can muddy the waters here. Again, it's preseason. It's training camp. We hear it all the time. Come down to Tampa Bay. You would think Sean Tucker is a freaking Hall of Famer already. And I'd bring that name up a lot because guess what? He's talked about every single day here about how he's going to show out, how he's going to explode, how he's going to break out this year from the coaching staff. Doesn't happen. So we'll see what happens with Kyle Monangai. But really, I'm really intrigued on DeAndre Swift and Roschon Johnson and how they develop, and are they going to be must-rostered fantasy football running backs? Swift, we've seen what he can do. He can catch balls. He could run the ball. He's a very solid NFL running back. Roschon Johnson, we were all high on him a couple of years ago, and he fell flat on his face, and nobody drafted him last year. And nobody was really looking forward to him last year. So hopefully they could figure that out. But yeah, that's the biggest takeaways from me looking forward to week 2 of the preseason once I watch that. So that's going to wrap it up, guys. Listen, this show isn't meant to be an hour long. This show isn't meant to be a banger, right? A freaking Moby Dick novel. No, we're just giving you the news of the weekend. And honestly, there's nothing much going on. Training camp, right? If you want to keep in the news, make sure you follow us, fantasynowplus.com. We'll have all the news, all the injuries, all the losing of jobs, all the quotes, all the fun stuff, man. So go to fantasynowplus.com, on Blue Sky as well, Fantasy Now. We're not on X. I don't think we are. We're on TikTok, so fantasynowplus.com. I keep on saying that website because that's all I wrote down for every single plug, Justin. That's what I did, and I apologize. Make sure you catch us on Finstock Sports Network. Me and Justin will be back tomorrow. Yes, we'll be back tomorrow for our flagship Fantasy Now Plus show. So in the meantime, stay thirsty, guys. This has been the Cold Brews and Hot Take Show with Josh Kimmel from Fantasy Now Plus. Enjoy your week, guys. Have a good day. Peace out.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you watch or listen to podcasts. We'll be back next week for more ways to win your league.